Houston Texans beat up a banged-up San Francisco 49ers team yesterday, 26-15 to improve to 3-4. Is their swag back? Plus, a look back at Sunday's Week 8 action in the National Football League and some thoughts on anything else you might have missed over the weekend in sports. I'm Paul Gallant. This is the Gallant Says podcast. Hit it.
A radio show host in Seattle called Paul Gallant.
Paul Gallant's wondering the same things a lot of people are.
You are definitely living in the hindsight world today, Paul.
Do you feel there's been a consistent theme with the interceptions?
I think every interception really has a different story.
I was just kind of curious what Paul gets to say.
Grow, mother. Are you kidding me?
Paul Gallant, what the hell is wrong with you?
Oi! And welcome aboard the Gallant Says podcast. It is Monday, October 27th, 2025, live on YouTube at Paul Gallant. Please like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. On Twitch at Gallant Says. I like follows. I love subs. On X and Twitter at Gallant Says Pod. If you haven't followed me on that, I mean, how else are you going to see my snark on the internet? Instagram at Sports Gallant, TikTok at Gallant Says for clips of the show, which are also available on Facebook at Paul Gallant Sports. You can join this show live Monday through Friday, noon Central Time, and occasionally after major Houston sporting events. Then it's available after the fact, wherever you get your podcasts, Apple and Spotify. If you want to cut me off mid-thought, the best way to watch the show, in my opinion, is on Super Chat. It's on YouTube. It's not on Super Chat. That's not an app. So if you want to cut me off mid-thought, the best way to watch the show is Super Chat. So do it on YouTube. I'll play this. I will answer your comment immediately. But I will eventually get to your comments, which you can also leave the old-fashioned way if you so choose. GallantSays@gmail.com if you want to send me an email. Or you can text the number 281-836-3912. Sign your name when you leave that text. You can also call, leave a voicemail at 281-836-3912. I'm surprised no one has left a voicemail yet. I'm surprised by that. So, yesterday's Houston Texans dub. You can only play the team that's on your schedule, even if they're all in the hospital. No Brock Purdy. It was Mac Jones. No Fred Warner. No Nick Bosa. I don't want to nitpick that win too much. This is a 49ers team that was pretty damn competitive despite all of the injuries that they've dealt with over the last couple of weeks. It's why they went into yesterday's game with a 5-2 record. But the Texans, as they did against the Titans and as they did against the Ravens, took care of business against a team they're more talented than. The offense had a lot of sustained drives. I would have liked to see those drives end in touchdowns. So don't flex too much over this. But on a short week, after a disastrous performance on national TV, to go out and win decisively certainly has some wind back in this team's sails. Sure, lots of things to nitpick. I mean, there was a moment in this game where it was so one-sided and it was still an 8-point game. Texans were on the other side of that against the Seattle Seahawks on Monday. But you got the win and you have a pulse again. I don't know if you've brought the entirety of the fan base back on the bandwagon in a town that, let's be honest, is rather bandwagony. But lot to be happy about yesterday. And shit gets real Sunday against the Denver Broncos team that has scored, I shit you not, 77 points in their last 5 quarters. 77. I'm not kidding. They opened up a can of whoop ass on the Dallas Cowboys yesterday in those awesome throwback uniforms that they should wear before they move to the steroid Bronco. And they also had that ridiculous fourth quarter against the New York Giants not too long ago. Let's read some comments before we try and answer this question. Do the Houston Texans have their swag back? Rare Candy 86 says the Texans don't have their swag back, but they took out the trash. Ultimate Fan says if any team wins, you talk trash. That's part of it. It's fun to talk a little bit of trash. I would imagine if you were a Texans fan who went to NRG Stadium yesterday and you saw all the 49ers fans there and you saw the very many empty seats about an hour before kickoff, to get a win like that, certainly satisfying. To send all of those people from a fan base that has a lot of fans all over the country. Some of them bandwagoners, at least back when the 49ers first got good. But hey, if you stuck with the 49ers through all the dark years of the 2010s, before Jim Harbaugh came back aboard, and honestly, I guess the 2000s as well. All right, fine. Lots of 49ers fans were in attendance at yesterday's game. And as we have noticed at NRG Stadium over the last couple of years, even with CJ Stroud and even with D'Amico Ryans, Texans fans seem pretty willing to allow people from out of town to buy tickets. Can't deny it. Broncos will travel well as well next week. I don't know what the weather's like in Denver at this moment in time, but I do know that flights are very reasonably priced from Denver to Houston. Maybe the most reasonable there is if you're looking to come to town. So I imagine there's going to be a lot of orange this coming Sunday. And I would tell the Texans this. I think that they should have worn the Battle Reds just to hide it. But Ultimate Fan doesn't care. We appreciate you, Ultimate Fan, because you are the Ultimate Fan. Brother! I don't think I can do the Hulk Hogan impersonation as much as you. More comments. Dime628 says, let's get to the press conference. We will. We will in a little bit. Brandon Halam says, angry D'Amico Ryans is angry. I don't think he was angry. But we'll get to that in a moment. JMalfair5790 says, 49ers fans are very, very overconfident. I would imagine the 49ers fans who do not live in San Francisco are the most overconfident. This is something that I noticed with Dallas Cowboys fans when I was growing up in the Northeast. I think Cowboys fans that are not from Dallas are unbelievably over-the-top arrogant for no real reason. But Cowboys fans, at least the ones that I know, who have been through all their shit over the last couple of years, are a rather jaded, expecting everything to go bad bunch. But I know we all know different Cowboys fans out there. I'll just say the ones in my inner circle are always expecting the other shoe to drop. Maybe it's because they're also Aggies. It could be that. What other comments do we have? We got some on TikTok as well. What do we got? We got Kenny saying we're going to see a good defense next week. You're right. How do you feel about the offense? Look, step in the right direction. I think the hope is that the young players, Jalen Knoll, who certainly flashes. Jaden Higgins, not flashing, but doing what he's supposed to do. Seeing those rookies go out there in an expanded role, which might be more expanded now. We'll see if Braxton Berrios can come back from that chest injury and if Nico Collins is back Sunday against the Broncos. They're going to need Nico Collins against Denver, but it was nice to see those young players step up. Woody Marks also had a pretty good game too. But how excited am I about the offense coming out of this game? Like, I'm not jumping for joy, but they did take care of business. Taking care of business any day. Taking care of business anyway. That boy KB says, that offense hasn't seen our defense, though. You're right. I think it'll probably be, in some ways, Texans-Broncos, similar to Texans-Seahawks. It's going to be a slugfest defensively, and it's going to be a matter of that offense keeping whatever confidence, whatever swag that they got from this game. Stephen Marcus says, Texans played an injured team, not a good team. Yeah, we know. We know. I don't nitpick it too much. You're allowed to enjoy it. I understand there's some expectations that this team has to meet, and nationally people are still poo-pooing them, and yeah, that's how it goes. Don't get too mad about it. Embrace the win, and we'll see what happens on Sunday. Sunday's going to be a real test. But listen, some teams, they don't take care of business against teams that suck. I know that's certainly one way of putting a positive spin on this Texans season, but Think about all the teams in the league that blow it against teams they're better than. It's the NFL, so that does happen on a regular basis. To the Texans' credit, the games that they have lost this year are to teams that most people just think are better than them. Rams week 1, Bucks week 2. Jaguars, they're probably on the same level as because of Trevor Lawrence and his issues, which you could compare to CJ Stroud if you want. And then you lose to a Seahawks team that's got a really good defense and under Mike McDonald seems to be in a really good spot. So, is the swag back? Let's determine whether or not the Houston Texans have their swag back based off of some of the things that they said after the game. First off, did anyone notice the way that the Houston Texans, while being interviewed after the game, do you notice the first thing that they did first? And hopefully this does not get copyright struck. But this is CJ Stroud, Texans quarterback, with Fox Sports reporter Allison Williams after the game. Just notice the first thing that he did.
CJ, after last week, everybody was asking what's wrong with Houston's offense, but you told us you guys were good and you were confident. What allowed for this team to put up 475 yards of total offense today?
Yeah, first I just want to give all glory and praise to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And without him, I'm nothing. I'm a broken, wretched, sinful man, and he saved me time and time again. And I just put my confidence in him. Whenever I lack self-confidence, I have God confidence. So, but today, man, we knew what we had to do. We knew what we did last week wasn't good enough. And really, we just have faith. It's easy to have faith when it's easy, but when it's hard and it gets tested, you get punched in the mouth. And that happens in this league all the time. What are you going to do? So we had hard conversations. Coaches were hard on us. We were hard on the coaches. We got things fixed, and we got to just keep this rolling.
If you're hearing CJ Stroud thank the man upstairs, or woman, if you've watched the movie Dogma, or the Flying Spaghetti Monster if you're an atheist, when he is doing that to open up a press conference, he's in a good mood. He doesn't always do it. And he wasn't the only person to thank the Lord for what went down yesterday. By the way, this is not me making fun. This is not me critiquing. This is just something that when the Texans win and they play well and they're happy about what went down, it does seem like both CJ Stroud and DeMeco Ryans will, to open things up, thank the higher power. This is the beginning of DeMeco Ryans' press conference yesterday after the game.
Just make sure I give glory where it's due, and that's to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for, continue to bless us over and over again. It's nothing that we've done to be blessed, but we got it. We're thankful for the grace and the love that we're shown. I'm proud of all of our guys for the way they showed up. And
when they begin their press conference, think of the guy upstairs. They're generally in a good mood. I'd like to think that if there is a person upstairs, and I want to believe that there's someone upstairs, that they're focusing on things that matter a little bit more than a football game between the Texans and the 49ers. But at the very least, you can tell right there that they think things are going pretty well. And guess what? They won. Winning is hard to do in the National Football League. It is, even if it is against a team with its backup quarterback that also has a bunch of injured players on the defensive side of things. James Clancy, 503, brought up something pretty interesting. We were hard on the coaches, coming from CJ Stroud. Well, give him credit. If there's an actual collaborative back and forth between players and coaches when things are going wrong, sometimes that turns out disastrously. But if that is something that went on behind the scenes, you like to see it. Look, guys, the Texans, I think, are feeling themselves. How much swag do they have right now? I'll leave that up to you, but they're certainly operating with a little bit of confidence. After the game, D'Amico Ryans had this speech with the team in the locker room.
Man, I couldn't be more proud of you guys, man. Like, for our game plan and what we wanted to do and how we knew we had to win this game, it was like we talked about controlling the game, right? We got 30 runs. Outstanding job offense. That's a good football team. You guys control the ball. You guys had the ball for 41 minutes. Right? That's how you control the game and just keep pressing.
Death by 1,000 cuts offense. They did have a lot of long, sustained drives. I do push back on D'Amico saying that's a very good football team a moment ago, but more D'Amico.
All right, keep pressing. Outstanding job all the way across the board. Got one ball here. Offense, CJ. Outstanding job, bro. Outstanding job. All right, over 300 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Like, great decisions all freaking day, man. Keep it going. Keep it going, man.
D'Amico's a little, the grasp on the shoulder, a little strong there. More after the game.
Hey, and guys, the way you guys playing on defense, Kamari taking the football away.
That was a hell of a play by Kamari downfield.
Outstanding job by you. We had a lot of different guys. We can highlight a lot tomorrow. Where's Hutch? Outstanding job by Hutch. All right, most catches he had in a career, and he also got in the end zone again. Yeah.
Talking about Xavier Hutchinson, in case you didn't know.
Oh, man. But hey, I couldn't be more proud of you guys. Love the way you guys work. And remember our formula. Don't forget our formula, man. It's just remaining disciplined, one snap at a time. Everybody remaining locked in. It doesn't matter who we play. This is how we got to show up each and every game. All right? Stay together. Keep it tight. We're a family. We keep it tight. We protect each other. We fight for each other. I always remember that. All right?
I got this game ball. I'm going to get 5 more for the O-line, man.
Pay attention here, because there's something C.J. Stroud says that we're going to get, I think, a more intense version of from D'Amico Ryans in just a moment.
There ain't no me without y'all, baby. I'm proud of y'all boys, man. Keep fighting, keep crawling. Man, who cares what people say, bro? It never matters. We on the field, bro. It don't matter what nobody say, man. Keep the confidence, keep the faith. It's easy to have faith when it's easy. It's easy to have faith when it's easy. Now, y'all boys have faith when it was hard, man. And we been out there, we beat a good team, man. So let's keep on doing this. Keep stacking, let's keep rolling. Love y'all boys. Family on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Family.
I like that family is becoming a theme of the Houston Texans as somebody who loves the Fast and Furious movie franchise. I do like that. They say dog a lot. Now they say family a lot. I could work with this. I can work with this. We can create some content out of it. But you noticed C.J. Stroud right there saying, hey, doesn't matter what's said outside of the locker room. Good. It doesn't, by the way. It doesn't. But this is going to take us to another moment, going back to that press conference that we showed a clip from just a moment ago, where D'Amico Ryans really pushed back on the outside noise that has been coming out from NRG Stadium over the last couple of days. I believe Big Sarge Sports asked this question. Here is D'Amico Ryans.
Coach, coming into this game, there was a lot of criticism and noise about the way that the offense was ran, and in particular the way that Nick Cady was calling plays. How impressed were you by the way that he was able to call the game today, and for you all to get off to such a fast start?
Yeah, Kaylee did a great job again today, and he's done a great job with what we were asking him to do. He's doing a great job.
Has he done a great job? I don't know. I'll say he did a good job on Sunday. You got to get touchdowns. Obviously, players execute just as much as the coaches have to draw up a scheme. The death by 1,000 cuts offense C.J. Stroud keeps talking about. They did execute it. I'm going to say good, not great, but hey, they won.
He has the guys. The guys have his back. Everybody's in this together. right? From Kaylee, myself, the player, we're all in this thing together. So it really doesn't matter about outside noise. And we hear a lot of that every time you lose. Everybody wants to come up with something of get rid of everybody, fire everybody, you lose a game, you go out, don't play well. Well, it's just the noise is just a lot of people who don't know what they're talking about.
Damn!
Because here in this room, as a team, we stick together as a team, and we know it's only about us, right? And you never let that outside noise creep in and control who we are. We know who we are. We know what we're about. We know the formula. We know what it takes to go win games. And we just understand that the outside noise is just noise. We would never go ask anybody who's giving the noise. We would never go ask them their opinion about how to game plan or how to play football. So we keep that in-house, and we press forward, and we go out and play good football. That's what it's about.
Damn. D'Amico Ryans taking shots at the media? I'm not going that far. I'm going to say this. If the Texans are looking for motivation, and that motivation isn't from the film that they're watching where they're underachieving, if they need someone else to motivate them to bounce back after a wretched national TV performance on Monday night, we can be that person. I can be that person. Because I want this team to do well. I cover them. I want to enjoy watching the football team that I cover. I grew up with ridiculous expectations for what a football team should be because I grew up in Massachusetts. Read between the lines on that one. I'm very difficult to please, so I nitpick a lot. And I think a lot of people in local media are nitpicking a lot. Understandably, this offense for a year plus has not lived up to the potential that we all saw during C.J. Stroud's rookie year for a variety of different reasons. That's why we're pointing the finger. But I don't think people, while pointing the finger, are truly calling for the head coach to be fired. Some are. By the way, I never did. But I have some questions about what's going on behind the scenes with this head coach, with this coaching staff, and with these players, given that the same mistakes have been happening over and over again for what seems like a year plus. I think it's fair to ask about the process and maybe if that team needs to look at itself in the mirror and evaluate its process and change its process. And maybe they did that based off of that interview that C.J. Stroud did after the game. But if they want somebody, a boogeyman, a bad guy, someone that they can use to give themselves the belief that nobody believes in us, which lots of teams find ways to do. The team I grew up rooting for did all the fucking time. I remember after the Patriots beat the Carolina Panthers in Super Bowl 38, the Janet Jackson titty Super Bowl. I remember in that game afterwards, Rodney Harrison, with the Patriots in the midst of a 15-game winning streak, saying, nobody believed in us. They're playing Jake fucking Delhomme. Nobody believed in us. If you got to find that motivation, I can be that motivation. And look, there's a movie that I watched recently. It's one of the greatest movies that's ever been aired. It might be the greatest action movie ever. I'm just going to play a clip from that movie. Okay? I'm going to play a clip. So bear with me for a moment.
Because he's the hero Gotham deserves, but not the one it needs right now. So we'll hunt him. Because he can take it. Because he's not our hero. He's a silent guardian, a watchful protector, a
If you're looking for motivation, I'm right here. I could be the hero that Houston deserves, that the Texans deserve, but not the one it needs right now. So you can hunt me. You can watch the Gallant Says podcast. You can pay attention to every single thing I say in the show. And then subscribe, rate, and review. And put it on the bulletin board. If you need this as the motivation for you to win in this league where it's so hard to win, I could be that guy. Call it in. By the way, like this video and subscribe. Every member of the Houston Texans while you're watching this for motivation. And maybe give me a follow, if not a sub, on Twitch. A like, a follow on TikTok at Gallant Says, Instagram at Sports Gallant, Twitch. Have I already said that? I don't fucking know. But I could be that guy. Call it in.
Should I do the rest of the show like this? A bunch of people are saying Batman never had a mustache. Hey, listen, assholes. Okay, I just had this as a costume for Halloween a couple years ago. It's in my costume closet back there, and I put it back on. Okay? Brandon Halam says $5 if you attend a press conference wearing that. I do need to get a press pass again. It seems to be something that'll happen. Anyway, guys, I have to reveal my. Oh, this hurts my nose. Fuck. I have to reveal my true identity. I'm not Batman, but if they need me to be Batman, I can be Batman. Okay? Anyway, we got more things to respond to and react to from the Texans coming out of this game. They're definitely feeling confident. They've definitely got some swag, and if they need the liberal media to motivate themselves, go ahead. Truly. If that's what it's going to take, good. I'm glad to be the thing that you're thinking about at all times. And again, just subscribe, rate, and review. Leave a 5-star review. Okay? That's all. More coming out of yesterday's 26-15 win, where the Texans seem to be a little chesty. This is at the press conference. There's this guy who seems to be a really nice fellow. I do not know his name. I do not know what publication he works for, if he even works for a publication. But he has been at, I want to say, every single Houston Texans press conference after a game at NRG Stadium that I've ever been to. And he really does seem like a character from Friday Night Lights. Here he is talking about the San Francisco 49ers beating the San Francisco 49ers being a good win. I love this question. I love this question from this guy.
Well, to piggyback on that last question, Miko, I know it's just one win, but how much pressure does this take off of you now that you played so well complementary football in all three phases? And secondly, did it help the fact that you are so familiar with the 49ers and game planning this one?
Yeah, I don't have any pressure on me. We're in the NFL. Every week is a tough week. We're going to celebrate this win because we got to win versus a gritty, tough football team. The Niners are great. Even though they are missing a lot of top guys, still they found a way to pull it together, play a great game, and we knew that was going to be the case. Right? Again, fall into the trap of who they didn't have. Those guys are prepared. Kyle has them prepared every single week, and that's our game plan was just to go out and execute the way we know how to execute, and the guys did that, and I'm proud of them for that.
He should be proud of them. But for what it's worth, they were a banged up team with fucking Mac Jones under center. Just don't get too excited about it. But hey, we know this defense is going to do what it's going to do every single week. This defense is great. And they made it really tough for San Francisco in the first half. Texans offense moved the football. We just got to see them get those touchdowns. More chestiness from the Houston Texans coming out of yesterday's win. I'm not sure I agree with this assessment by D'Amico Ryans of the team's offensive line, but here is the head coach of the Houston Texans talking about how the line did yesterday. C.J. Stroud sacked 0 times in this game.
Like that, is that what, not only the expectations, but what you know that they can do?
Yeah, I know our offense line can do it. Right, when we do it and we do it at a high level and we're focused, we're locked in, like that's what it looks like.
Little chesty, little cocky. I know our offensive line can do it. That's what it looks like. That's what it can look like. But you're going up against a 49ers team without Nick Bosa, without Fred Warner. They're feeling cocky. Almost. Definitely confident. Definitely chesty. Roger McKay points out on TikTok, we need 6-man offensive lines out there to give C.J. Stroud 2 more seconds. Ray Mundo says they do it with 6 men on the field. Yep. I mean, that is certainly part of what happened in yesterday's game. And it worked, but there was extra help for that offensive line against a team that's not that good. More chestiness from the Houston Texans after yesterday's game. C.J. Stroud says that he believes that the Texans have been locked in every single week this year.
The game plan is, did you get a sense sometime this week that everybody was kind of locked in on exactly what you guys wanted to do this week?
Yeah, I think we're locked in every week. I thought even against Seattle we were locked in, and I just thought we just didn't play good. And then you look at Baltimore, Tennessee, we were locked in. Against Tampa Bay, against Tampa Bay we were locked in. It's like you give yourself a chance when you're locked in, practicing great. Now you got to go. Everybody probably does that in the NFL. But the teams who win are the ones who can execute on Sundays. So I think that's the key, where at least, especially offensively, defensively, of course, and special teams, we can take it up to another notch. It's just taking, because I do think we're a focused group. I do think we have a crazy amount of effort. You can see how hard we play, everybody. Now it's just the execution from X's and O's wise, and trusting what the coaches are doing and putting the positions we're in. So I definitely think that is where we need to take the next step, and do that today.
I'm not sure that I agree with them being locked in every week. They said that they had a great week of practice leading up to the game against the Seahawks. Okay, maybe they did. Doesn't look at times, especially offensively, like they are locked in, though, leading up to games. You heard D'Amico Ryans being a little bit antagonistic towards the outside noise at this press conference. You've also got, towards a question from Kimmy Davis, C.J. Stroud pushing back a little bit at something that she said about the game being kind of complete. Here is C.J. Stroud.
Brax, showed up big. J-No, Hig. We got a bunch of guys. Dalt. I'm probably forgetting some, but everybody balled.
Hey, CJ, how does it feel to have, I wouldn't say a complete game, but kind of, to control the clock for so much, all 3 phases?
Is it kind of?
Yeah.
Why kind of?
Because I know nothing's perfect, right?
Yeah, but you gotta. It's hard to win in the league, man. I'll take it. No, yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
He took it as criticism, though. A kind of complete win. I mean, it was a kind of complete win. They didn't score touchdowns. 4 field goals, 2 touchdowns. You got to get more touchdowns out there. It's a 49ers team that has its backup quarterback out there that's dealing with all sorts of injuries. And while the Texans defense deserves a ton of credit, again, offensively, is that going to win you games against good teams? Against Denver on Sunday, who has scored 77 points in 5 quarters. I know that the Texans defense is going to keep them in check, but You got to finish drives off with touchdowns. And I'm not looking at Sunday's game as a complete performance. I think Kim's assessment's correct. Kind of complete. But you got to get touchdowns. They did not get touchdowns. Roger McKay on TikTok says, week 1, this guy said the Texans were lollygagging going into the Rams game. Yep. WKDZD says that Landry Locker did not enjoy D'Amico Ryan's rant. Yeah, a lot of people in local media probably didn't, and I don't blame him. Because he didn't address any of the things that I talked about with DJ Bieneme on Friday's show. He didn't talk about any of that. And that outside noise is coming from ex-players and people across the league who have been with D'Amico before. If it got them to rally together and put together the performance that they put on Sunday, great. But I also realized that going up against a 49ers team that's banged up helped them out a lot. Anyway, I can be their bad man, baby. I can give them a target. I can give them somebody to chase, to hate. Like I'm Batman taking the fall for Harvey Dent's murder at the end of The Dark Knight. By the way, the 49ers, very chesty themselves going into this game, huh? How many people saw the buildup to this one with the 49ers? This is a clip of the 49ers walking onto the field at NRG Stadium. This is fucking wild. Watch this. Pay attention. Listen.
What the fuck is a Texan, nigga?
That one guy, multiple times, is yelling, "What the fuck is a Texan? Fella?" He said another word. I can't say that word. What the fuck is a Texan? 49er is also a nickname that has to be explained. The 49ers are a team named after the gold rush to San Francisco of 1849, thus the gold helmets, the gold pants. Iconic look. They do have great uniforms, the 49ers do. But they seemed a little chesty walking onto the field, seemingly forgetting that Mac Jones is their quarterback. More from 49ers fans walking into the game. This was posted by a Rams. Check that. This was posted by John Chapman. I mean, listen, this is just how it goes at NRG Stadium when the Texans are playing a fan base that travels. I imagine some of these 49ers fans live in Houston. Yeah, that guy threw up an H.
Bang, 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 bang.
They have a thing where they say bang, bang, Niner gang.
Bang, bang.
Anyway, a homely bunch. Paul, that's mean. You're criticizing other people's appearance. Well, I can't. Look at my mustache, motherfucker. I'm hot as shit. More cockiness for the San Francisco 49ers walking into the game. This is from the San Francisco 49ers NBC affiliate. I hate it. I hate it when people do this. I shouldn't, because it's just, you know, the bar for creativity these days is very low in my industry, which makes me enraged that I don't have a job. But the 49ers NBC account, NBC Sports Bay Area, posted this. Houston, you have a problem. And then, like, the second thing they show is Mac Jones. And I guess I got to mute this so I don't get copyright struck by some stupid fucking song. But this guy's wearing his fucking pajamas into the game, whoever he is. Robert Saleh. George Kittle's got a top knot. There's John Lynch. I don't even know who that is. I don't know who that is either. I don't know who that is. Maybe I'm supposed... That's Christian McCaffrey. I do know that. I don't know why you're wearing the sunglasses inside. You're inside. A leather jacket. It's like probably 80 degrees outside the stadium. Whatever. But, I mean, they're pretty cocky walking in. And it reminds of that one post that the NBC athletics account, which is also in the Bay Area, the A's used to be there. Remember when they posted this bullshit? What are they going to say now? 3-7 record against us, 29-31 record overall, second place, career low batting averages, showing Correa, showing Jose Altuve. Hey, what happened in that series? You stupid fucks. What happened, you dumb shits? There was no falling on the sword for that one. At the very least, the 49ers NBC Bay Area account did post a self-ownage of Houston. We did have a problem. See, right there. So there you go. A lot of cockiness for the 49ers going into this one. After the game, less so. Here is Kyle Shanahan weighing in on what went down at NRG Stadium.
In a game like this,
after the game, here is the head coach of the 49ers.
damage your team's morale, spirit?
I would hope not. I mean, got beat today. Credit to them. They kicked our ass, and we got to take it like men and come back, hopefully a little pissed off, and go to work and play better next week than we did this week.
So they kicked our ass. Does that sound like a coach who is running a team that was 100% ready to go? Do you think they might have been overlooking him after Monday night? Understandable to a degree. More, here is after the game, 49ers quarterback, just so weird to say it, Mac Jones talking about Mac Jones. Who? Mac Jones. How he felt bad for the San Francisco 49ers defense in this game.
Honestly, just stick to my process, prepare, do my stretching, and stay warm, and whether it's long drives or not. But I feel bad for the defense because we didn't give them, when you're out there for that many plays, it's hard to just play. You get tired, and even if we just get a couple first downs, it gives some pressure off them. So,
yeah, it's 25-5 at halftime, time of possession. Insane. Mac Jones did credit the Houston Texans defense after the game. So, walked into the stadium a little cocky, leave the stadium humbled and showing some respect.
They do what they do. They've done the same thing the past 5 years. So they're really good, though. They've all played together for a long time and got a lot of respect for those guys. And I've gone against them 3 times in the last year, and every time I've left the field, thought they were the best defense in the NFL. So,
best defense in the NFL. He has gone up against them a lot of late. After the game, more reaction coming out of the San Francisco side of things. Here is the 49ers Skip Bayless, Grant Cohn, walking through the tunnels of NRG Stadium and weighing in on what just happened to the team he covers.
Sobering. The 49ers just lost 26-15 to the Houston Texans, who aren't good, and they're going nowhere, which means the 49ers aren't good either. I mean, they didn't just lose by a little bit, and you can't just pin this on one guy. The whole team got absolutely murked by a bad Texans team. They have a good defense, but their offense is terrible, and it's banged up. And the Niners defense gave up like 5 10-play scoring drives. The Niners defense is horrendous, and there's no trade that's going to save it at this point.
So to bring it back to what we were talking about, this is the guy who covers the team. He thinks the 49ers stink. It's always a tad negative, that one. How chesty should you be coming out of this game? I think most Texans fans are being realistic about it. Hey, it's a step in the right direction, but this was a very banged-up team. You take the win. You hope that something can be taken from the offensive performance yesterday into Sunday's game against a really good Broncos defense with a Broncos offense that's definitely hit or miss, but has scored 77 points in the last 5 quarters. Can you take something forward here? But as far as the Texans are concerned, I feel like they've got their confidence back. They've got their swag back. Is it misplaced? I don't know. Should they be as mad about the doubts, the negativity, the real criticism from local media, from people who used to play for D'Amico Ryans? Should they have been so annoyed by that outside noise? I don't think they should have paid attention to it. But if they did pay attention to it, use it as whatever motivational fuel you need, man. I'll be your Batman. Anyway, there you go. More from this game. It's time for a little bit of dog watch. Who are the good dogs? Who are the bad dogs from yesterday's Texans victory?
What are you doing in here, little kitty cat? Meow! All crazy. And I told our players, we need more dogs.
It's a group that's a lot of dogs, man.
Yeah, he's a dog.
I think I seen a dog come out of him.
Nah, he a dog.
He's a dog, man.
You need to be more like a dog. We don't need a bunch of cats in here. Yeah. Be a dog. We don't need no meows. We don't need no cats.
Who were the good dogs for the Houston Texans in yesterday's 26-15 win over the San Francisco 49ers? Who were they? Said Paul as he filibustered to find a couple of drops. Who were the good dogs? Who were they? Please let me know.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.
Good dogs of the game. First, CJ Stroud. If you want a visual for the Texans' death by 1,000 cuts offense, it looks like this. This is posted by Cody Stutes, Houston Football, the SNL podcast. You take a look. Stroud threw it all over the field, and all but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All but 10 throws were 10 yards or shorter by air. Dinking and dunking. Dinking and dunking. That is the Texans offense. That was the Patriots offense back in the day. You want to chuck it downfield, and I think CJ Stroud always wants to chuck it downfield, which is one of the reasons that maybe he looks at this death by 1,000 cuts offense and from time to time doesn't seem like he is sold when talking about him at the press conference podium. We played some of the things that he said after the Texans lost to Seattle earlier in the week. That's the visual, though. That's what it is supposed to look like. Can he keep this going forward? Because he certainly was one of the good dogs in today's game. This was a great performance for him from got the ball out when he needed to, did not fall back under pressure and take a 15-yard sack. He seemed poised, got the ball out quick, used his legs when he needed to. That one scramble he had rolling to his left on, I think, 2nd and 8. I thought he should throw the ball away. He somehow got to the sideline, tight-roped it, got a first down for the Texans. Can he keep that going forward? This is D'Amico Ryans talking about something specific out of CJ in this game that he really liked, which once again goes back to our theme of today's show, talking about swag and confidence.
CJ's locked in. We know when the quarterback is playing well, right? And CJ plays well and he's upbeat and everybody can see he's going to the right spot with the football. He's making great decisions, stepping up, escaping the pocket, converting some runs there, converting some third downs. I mean, you just see the energy, the vibe of our entire sideline just changes, right? Because everybody's looking for the quarterback for that leadership. And it's just about nothing special or nothing grand. It's just about him just remaining disciplined as a quarterback, doing exactly what he's supposed to do on every given play. And when he does that, he makes great decisions. And with the O-line working the way they work today, that's what you see, man. One of his best games ever. All right, the way he operated today, it was very clean football, and I'm proud of where he is. We just have to continue to stay with this every week.
He mentioned the demeanor there, his composure. He's had some moments where he's had just truly shit body language out there. And the way he talked about Stroud there, I'm sure that there was some sort of conversation had with all those cameras Monday Night Football about the way that he looked out there in that offense at times. So on a game where they're driving, lots of sustained drives, field goals, not touchdowns, but he's not getting sacked either. You can understand how his demeanor is going to be a good one for probably the entirety of the game. Is he going to be able to do that against Denver? Or if things aren't 100% going according to plan, is all of a sudden that bad body language, the doubts, are they going to come back? I'm not going to act like I'm unflappable. I lose my fucking mind whenever technology does not 100% do what I want it to do. I get very upset about this. You've probably seen this before on this show. Like that one time where I was upset about a moment during the show where all of a sudden I realized that I had been on mute for like 5 minutes, and you know, the sound is the next thing that I know, I'm doing a little touchdown dance, if you will. This is my own version of a touchdown dance in case you've never seen it. God damn it. In case you've never seen that, like sometimes my demeanor, sometimes my composure isn't good. When things don't go 100% according to plan. It's a normal thing. The hope is that CJ Stroud can shake that off. When things aren't going according to plan, that he can stay calm, poised. This was not one of those games where there was ever a possibility of, I think, him, losing his composure, being upset. But he's one of the good dogs of the game. Am I supposed to be mad about this post? I saw a lot of people getting mad about it. David Lombardi, who says, I provide the most, this is his profile, I provide the most in-depth look at 49ers strategy for the San Francisco Standard and on my YouTube. He's got a lot of followers. Looks a little bit like a dork with the gold football avatar, whatever. He posted this, and I'm sure he had said this a couple of times during the game. Again, any NFL quarterback, even CJ Stroud, will look good when he faces zero pressure. And if he's bailed out of 3 and outs with holding penalties committed away from the intended target. Like, he clearly thinks CJ Stroud sucks. Am I supposed to be mad at this person? I saw a lot of people who cover the Texans mad about it. See some of the responses here. Big Sarge responds. Dylan Delgado responds. The Orange X response. Jesus Christ. But yeah, a lot of responses from Texans fans. Even CJ Stroud. Am I supposed to be mad about that? Truly, I don't know. If you're mad about it, you could be mad at it. Personally, I'm not. That's just me. More from yesterday's game. Good dogs of the game. Good dogs of the game, everybody. Who was a good dog?
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog. Sit,
offensive line. The offensive line was good. Texans were decent running the football. CJ Stroud was kept clean. Other good dog of the game, and we expected this.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.
The defense. Easy day at the office. How about the bad dogs of the game? How about them? Who was bad? This is a clip from the movie Up.
Bad dog! Bad dog!
This was a rough game for MJ Stewart.
Bad dog! Bad dog!
A rough game. I felt like the 49ers knew that they could attack him on corner routes. He always seemed to step slow. I would just say the entirety of the safeties. That touchdown pass down the seam to George Kittle, Kalen Balak, didn't make a play there. Where are the plays from Kalen Balak? He's got the ability. Where are the plays? So it wasn't a great day for the safeties. Also,
Bad dog! Bad dog!
the special teams right before halftime. I mean, what the fuck? Right before halftime, you saw the Texans special teams allow a huge kick return to midfield with a face mask. Which gave the 49ers a 35-yard field. They started at the Texans 35, and they scored a touchdown there. And then to open the second half, Kaimi Fairbairn missed the landing zone a week after D'Amico Ryans was pissed at him for not kicking the ball out of bounds or out of the back of the end zone. And fucking up the clock situation for the Texans. Not great. Not a great moment for Frank Ross and the special teams. And we like Frank Ross. He's fun. Also, bad dog as far as finishing drives.
Bad dog! Bad dog!
Look, you got to get touchdowns. You have these sustained drives, great. But a 15-play field goal drive, come on. Were you converting a fourth down? 4 field goals, 2 touchdowns. It's great to see all these sustained drives. Are they going to happen against a Denver Broncos team? I don't know. You like what you see out of the young players, but you got to get touchdowns. Less penalties as well. The Texans get penalized a lot. They really do. You had more holds from the Texans. D'Amico Ryans says, I know what this offensive line can be. This is what they are. Well, okay, but they get called for a lot of holds, and you're always talking about how it's technique, not talent. Well, are you holding people because the talent's maybe not so good? Penalty-wise, 8 times the Texans penalized in this game for 55 yards. Let's see. Most penalties in the NFL 2025. Let's see. Because they had a bye week. Where do they rank? This is the players count. Okay. Penalties against count. Oh, Texans actually not at the very top, but they've only played 7 games. The Texans rank after Denver. Denver's the most penalized team, I guess, in the league. 68 flags against them. Dallas, New England, Jacksonville, New York, Chicago, New Orleans, Chargers, Packers, Vikings, Eagles, Cardinals, Titans, Browns, Dolphins, Jets, Commanders, Texans. So there are a couple of teams, the Jaguars, Bears, Packers, Vikings, Cardinals, and Washington, and the Bills, who have played as many games as them and penalized as much as them. But less penalties, more touchdowns, okay? Let's read some comments here. Cal asks, why is D'Amico so apprehensive with any criticism he receives? I don't think he's the only person that does this in the league. You got to keep your team together. If you can find a bad guy to rally the team against, do it. If the doubters can motivate your team, do it. Use whatever fuel you can, you know? Washed Up Dad says, hesitant to say the swag is back, but hey, there's hope. Washed Up Dad says the running game was great yesterday. I don't know if it was great. I wouldn't go that far. More comments here. On YouTube at Paul Gallant, like and subscribe. Brandon Lamb says CJ Stroud needs to realize Jaden Higgins is 6'4", not 8 feet tall. Yeah, he does throw it over his head from time to time. What else do we have? They looked really quick yesterday. Reminded me of the rookie year, says Captain Photon about the offense. Yeah, I mean, look, yesterday they did all right. They did all right. You take the win, and next week against the Denver Broncos is going to be really tough. Speaking of the Broncos, let's take a look at what happened yesterday across the NFL over a dreadful, dreadful slate of games. Give me that jam, everybody. It was a bad day of football. There was one competitive game, and it featured Justin Fields and Joe Flacco. We'll get to that one later. What's the most impressive win of Sunday? The 5-1-1 Packers scored 21 points in the fourth quarter to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers 35-25. It was an ass-kicking in that fourth quarter, and a huge game for two Packers in particular. Number one, Jordan Love, and number two, Micah Parsons. Jordan Love, 29 of 37 for 360 yards and 3 touchdowns. Tucker Kraft, if you had him in fantasy football at tight end, 7 catches for 143 and 2 touchdowns. Thoughts and prayers if you had to go up against that. And Micah Parsons, who on the stat sheet just had 1 tackle, 1 sack, 1 TFL, and 1 quarterback hit, had himself a really good game. This was a close game until the fourth. Steelers did go into the fourth with a 20-14 lead, but the Packers ran away. I think the Packers had the most impressive win. The 6-2 Broncos went up against a Cowboys team that has no defense, and they put up 44 on Dallas. They beat them 44-24. They will be in Houston on Sunday at NRG Stadium. 77 points their last 5 quarters. The Numbies for Bo Nix, 19 of 29 for 247 yards and 4 touchdowns. J.K. fucking Dobbins turning back the clock, averaging 7.4 yards a carry, 15 for 111 in this one. And R.J. Harvey had a 40-yard touchdown run, 7 for 46. Broncos were averaging 6.4 yards per carry on the ground. I do not think the Broncos offense is this good. I think it's going to be a lot more difficult for them to do this against the Texans defense. You're averaging 6.4 yards a carry, and Bo Nix is looking the way that he did in this game after struggling as long as he did against the Giants the week before. Definitely an asterisk next to this one. Cowboys might have the worst defense in the league. It was a rough game for Dak Prescott. Broncos defense is certainly no joke. Another impressive win. Look, the Titans stink, but the Colts keep blowing everybody out. 38-14, they took down Tennessee. Jonathan Taylor held to just 2 touchdowns rushing. He's had three touchdown performances this year. He is your offensive player of the year. 12 carries for 153 yards and 2 touchdowns. He averaged 12.8 yards a carry. Did have an 80-yard touchdown run to help that out. Daniel Jones, 21 of 29 for 272 and 3 touchdowns. Titans are a fucking mess. Meanwhile, my beloved New England Patriots, they scored 21 points in the third quarter after having just a 9-7 lead at halftime. I thought this would be a tough one for New England because the Browns' defense is good. Their offense, Dylan Gabriel, dreadful. Drake May, MVP, 18 of 24, 282 yards and 3 touchdowns. Meanwhile, Travion Henderson, the rookie who had the best preseason of anyone, had a 10-carry, 75-yard game against a Browns defense that a lot of people think are good. Mac Jones, Jesus, trauma. That's trauma for me, remembering Mac Jones. Drake May hit a long one to Kayshon Boutte. If Kayshon Boutte is available in your fantasy league, get him. You're missing out. Most impressive win. Not the Patriots win, not the Colts win, not the Broncos win, the Packers win. The other games that went about as expected. Hang on, wait a second. Coming out of this Patriots-Browns game, Myles Garrett had 5 sacks. And after the game, people are feeling bad for Garrett, who on the sideline was throwing a temper tantrum. Here is the Aggies legend.
It doesn't get any easier. Each week you ask me, so.
How do you
feel about your performance now? Does the loss diminish how you feel about your performance today at all?
I would throw the whole performance away for a win.
You could have signed elsewhere, dude. You didn't have to stay with the Browns. You said it isn't about money, it's about winning. You stay with the fucking Browns, dude. He's got to be regretting that decision, but I don't feel sympathy for him in the same way I don't feel sympathy for Mike Trout. Blowouts. Games that went as expected. The Panthers suck. Bills took them out 40-9. There was a brawl after the game. I mean, I'm not really 100% sure what happened. But here you go, everybody.
Get off me. No, it's me. Get off me. It's me. No, get off me.
Get off me. Dog, don't fight a team when you lost to them 40-9. Like, what are you trying to accomplish here? Probably going to get fined, at least by the Panthers, if not by the league. Bucks took down the Saints 23-3. Washed up Dad's talking about Tyler Shuck's performance yesterday. Not great, but okay. Listen, the Saints stink too. Eagles beat the Giants 38-20. I can't show this video clip because the NFL will probably copyright strike this video, but people are mad about another tush push. Let's watch this. So it's 4th and 1. The play wasn't dead. The Giants clearly stripped the ball from Jalen Hurts and recover it, but the refs called the play down. I think that was definitely a fumble watching the replay. Cam Scatabo, meanwhile, fucked up his ankle. That's a bummer. The games no one cared about yesterday. The Ravens beat the Bears 30-16. Not looking so good for Caleb Williams. Lamar Jackson benched last second for this game after practicing, I think, the first couple of days of practice this week, which led to an article in the Baltimore Standard, I think? Baltimore Banner, my bad, which is like the reputable newspaper in Baltimore. That's the one that had the Justin Tucker report. There's a worrisome trend with the Ravens and Lamar Jackson, as the Ravens look for any toehold in the season quickly slipping away. Their playoff odds now at 26% after a loss. They have to do with accountability, some of the issues in Baltimore right now. The two-time MVP, Lamar Jackson, to whom trust and understanding are paramount, has not talked to reporters since he suffered his Week 4 injury. In his absence, speculation from big-name reporters and optimism from Ravens officials have filled the vacuum as they did in 2021 and 2022. Well before Saturday's shakeup, the season in Baltimore was hard to figure out. Now ahead of the most important game of their season so far, it seems not even the Ravens know what's going on. A franchise lauded for its stability is wobbling under the weight of its care for its most important player. So he didn't play in the game. But guess what? The Ravens still won. Dolphins smoked the Falcons 34-10. Who gives a shit? Tua Tagovailoa had pink eye or something and won. And the Jets got their first win in the game of the day, 39-38 over the Bengals. Anyone see this from Justin Fields after the game, who had quite the week with Woody Johnson throwing him under the bus. Then he got benched for Tyrod Taylor, but then he got unbenched for himself. I don't know. Jets are a mess. Here's Justin Fields. Hang on, we gotta unmute it. We gotta unmute it. We're not gonna slam any coffee mugs today, baby. Not gonna do it. Hang on, let me turn the volume down. This is such a banger, but it's a little loud. A little loud. More from Justin Fields.
Spiritually. When I was on the field, I was damn near about to start crying, but not because we won, but just because of the goodness of God and just how everything, worked for the greater good. Everything that I've been through this past week, everything that we've been through as a team these past 7 weeks. There was a lot of ups and downs. I got a lot of support from my teammates, from my brothers, from my family, from my friends, and most of all, I'm just thankful, thankful for the Lord's that He.
Anyway, yeah, sad panda. I listen. I feel for him, but he is getting paid $20 million this year and next year. It's an embarrassing week, but you're still making a shit ton of money. to be a quarterback when you shouldn't be a quarterback anymore. That's a starter in this league. It was a tough day for the Jets. Nick Mangold passed away. Been dealing with a kidney issue. I think it was less than 2 weeks ago that he had posted about needing a transplant. I think he was on Barstool Sports in pretty good spirits. That was pretty rough to wake up to. So, good to see the Jets win on what was clearly a very tough day for that organization. I point to the players, not to Woody Johnson, who is a stupid asshole. The Commanders-Chiefs wrap up Week 8 tonight. The Chiefs are 10.5-point favorites. Jesus. That's brutal. Anyway, what else went down in the world of sports this weekend? Let's do a rapido edition of In Case You Missed It. I did have the audio for it just a moment ago, ready to go, and then all of a sudden, it left me. But we have an awesome bed in the background for you guys. It's incredible. So let's go. In case you missed it, everybody.
Did you catch everything this weekend in the world of sports and beyond?
I do not recall that, okay?
Doesn't ring a bell.
Sorry, I have no recommendation of that.
No idea. Absolutely not.
And now, in case you missed it, the Aggies rolled LSU. I mean, they fucked them up in a game that, if you're an Aggies fan, should have you confident for a change. I know that fan base, no matter how culty they are, is often waiting for the other shoe to drop. But to go in to Death Valley and win in the manner that they did, I thought they'd win. I didn't think they'd run away with it. It was a hell of a victory by the Ags. The final score, what was it? I had it in front of me a moment ago. No, it's going. Paul, you're doing prep for the show. 49-25. They were trailing at halftime, 18-14, and then they scored 21 in the third, 14 in the fourth, and get this, Brian Kelly, LSU head coach, he gone. They took him out back and old yellered his ass. Bam, you're gone. $54 million buyout. He's an asshole. I think it's very fair to say that. Unlikable, fake, speaks in code from time to time. Remember the Louisiana accent he put on? Classic son of a politician. He's from Boston, by the way. I saw this story about Brian Kelly on the timeline earlier today. It talks about when he had Matt LaFleur, Packers head coach, and Robert Saleh, 49ers defensive coordinator, on his staff at Central Michigan. This is from January 16th, 2019, an article by Rob Demovsky. On a winter night in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, Matt LaFleur and Robert Saleh thought they were invited to a party at the home of their boss, Brian Kelly. Turns out they weren't on the guest list. They were on the worker list. We shoveled the snow and parked all the cars. Then at the end of the night, we had to go get the cars again. And then they went back to their tiny apartment they shared as graduate assistants, stood around their kitchen table without any chairs, and said, Saleh, quote, "We decided that when we're in that position, we're never going to treat people the way we got treated. And Matty's lived up to it." What an asshole. By the way, a shout out to the Aggies who showed up in Death Valley, perhaps with a confidence that the Houston Texans now have. I mean, look at this shit afterwards. Imagine you are an LSU Tiger fan and you're seeing this. I mean, look. Maybe they're in just one corner of the end zone, but that is an impressive amount of Aggies. So congrats to the Aggies. I know they hate LSU. I know LSU hates them. And that game, Texas A&M at the end of the year. If you're a Texas fan, how you feel about that one? Texas did win. They did not deserve to win that game. I watched it with one of my best friends who is a diehard Texas fan, and I still can't believe that they rallied back from down as much as they did to win 45-28. I mean, what were they down? They were down 38-21. Right after Texas had scored a touchdown, after a 62-yard catch and run with 12:29 to play. And from that point on, touchdown, field goal, touchdown. They had no business winning that game. Some assorted thoughts from this game. First off, back-to-back undeserved wins for Texas. Kentucky, Mississippi State. You gladly take them, but I mean, you're down double digits at halftime to Mississippi State on the same day that a story had leaked about your head coach potentially leaving for an NFL job. The Titans. Huh? Sark as a play caller. Are Texas fans out? Because Arch did a pretty good job in this game. I believe that John McClain, with an all-time post, said, "We're watching Arch Manning's footballs drop. He's finally reached puberty as a star quarterback. He played well as Mississippi State. In spite of, I think, receivers that don't have the best hands and don't fight for the ball." I don't give a shit about some of the stats for their receivers out there. Didn't one of the receivers nearly have 200 yards receiving? Who was it? Was it Wingo? He had 5 catches for 184, including a 62-yard catch. But this is a bunch of receivers who don't really fight for the ball, and Texas has got to be thankful as fuck that they got Ryan Niblett, who I believe went to Eisenhower High School in the area. Ryan Niblett is the best returner in college football. I thought that Sark was crazy not calling a timeout to save the 2-minute warning for Texas, but for whatever reason, Mississippi State punted the ball to Texas. Niblett catches it, takes it to the house, tie game. They win in overtime. You're happy about the win, but, back-to-back wins you don't deserve. And you've got this report before the game from Diana Rossini. Quote, "I'm told that representatives for Texas coach Steve Sarkisian have let NFL decision makers know he would be interested in potential head coach openings, including the Titans." This is the insider game now. NFL insiders, they hear from agents who feed them this information. This is 100% Steve Sarkisian weighing his options. More from this report. Afterwards, Steve Sarkisian was asked about that report from Diana Rossini. Here is what the head coach, for now, of the Texas Fightin' Aggies had to say about that, with video from Jeff Kolb of Fox 4.
So bear with me for a second, because it really pisses me off that one person can make a report that in turn the entire media sports world runs with as factual, to the point of my agency and my agents have to put a statement out that they never have done. Historically, CAA, Jimmy Sexton, and Ed Manowitz have never do that. But I had to do that to protect my locker room and my team. And I thought it was absolutely ridiculous. I thought it was completely unprofessional of that person to put that report out. And the fact that everybody ran with it is borderline embarrassing for the media. And I respect what you guys do. I really do. And everybody else. But the fact that everybody ran that as truth is really embarrassing. Okay, so I've got a small circle when I make decisions on what I do and what I don't do. And nobody would speak on my behalf without me knowing. And so where that report came from, I'd love to talk to that person because it's absolutely ridiculous.
I don't know if he would have said that report was ridiculous had they lost to Mississippi State. More things you might have missed over the weekend in sports. The World Series actually tied. Who would have thought that? 1 game apiece. The Blue Jays kicked the Dodgers' ass in Game 1. Game 2, a little bit more par for what we were expecting in this series. Series now heads to L.A. I am quite annoyed by the amount of whining coming out of Los Angeles. Not to mention the inability to let things go in the Dodgers fan base. So, going into the series, lots of Dodgers fans are talking about what George Springer had to say when asked about the cheating allegations against the 2017 Astros. Quote, I mean, at the end of the day, I have a job to do and a game to focus on. Dodgers fans are all over George Springer for this. I mean, you're seeing one Dodger fan account post, weird. Usually George Springer knows exactly what pitch is coming from that pitch up and in, thrown by a Dodger at Springer. Some people are of the belief that the Dodgers knew Springer was getting signs from somewhere. Is that actually the case? I don't know. Apparently the Dodgers radio broadcast implied Toronto was cheating at some point during the game. I'm not implying anything nefarious. They just figured something out. Is that all this fan base does? Is that all the players on this team do? And those who cover the team do? Totally forgetting about Mookie Betts saying that all teams were stealing signs back in the day. The guy that they got from the Red Sox, who was part of another sign stealing implication. I don't really have the energy to constantly be like, defend the wall for the Astros. At this point, I kind of want to move on. I think it's funny to piss these Dodgers fans off and just say, yeah, they cheated and got away with it. It's hilarious, right? Sucks to be you. Instead, Astros fans, I think, get a little butthurt about the idea that 2017 wasn't legitimate. It was. Dodgers were doing stuff. Yankees were doing stuff. Red Sox were doing stuff. Everyone in baseball was doing stuff, but you're not going to be able to convince people otherwise. There's just a weird energy for those Astros. The expectation that they should all be hit by pitches going forward, every at-bat that they're at. And there's more bitching coming afterwards from Dave Roberts. This had to do with, I guess, the Dodgers' flight from Toronto to LA being tough. Dave Roberts, quote, I don't want to get too far into it. I just arrived about 30 minutes ago, so there were some delays. I don't know if there was intent or not, but man, the international stuff was a bear. We made it. We made it. All this team does is bitch. Also, if you watched Game 2, did anyone want this? There was a moment in the midst of Game 2 where they paused the game to honor everyone who has fought cancer, died from cancer. But after that moment of silence, which I thought was very powerful, was done, a fucking Jonas Brothers concert? Fuck that. Boo! No one wants that. There's also some hullabaloo over this. I got into it with someone, another sports media member who doesn't seem to like me. Did anyone see this back and forth I had on X? Paul, the internet's not real, no one cares. Fine, but there's a guy at these games wearing a I bet on us, you hoodie, and he seems to be wearing, he's a diehard Blue Jays fan. He's at all these games. He's wearing a different sign in the front row every game. It's a little bit annoying. It's a little bit corny. But this guy, Matt Peralt, posts, and I know this guy. I guess he hates me. Buddy, this isn't funny. I don't care if a sportsbook paid for your seats or paid you to wear this dumb move. So I just responded saying, why? Meanwhile, by the way, I posted this at 9:26. I'd had a few drinks, not thinking much of it. Matt responds to me saying, I get it. You like to be the controversial contrarian guy who thinks he's funny but really isn't. But use your effing, say fucking, mind for 1 second and realize what is going on right now that might make that shirt pretty stupid to wear on intentional TV. And it says intentional, by the way. Who gives a shit? Why are you upset about this? I asked the follow-up, why? He never gave me a why. Tell me why. What's wrong with it? They're making jokes about Shohei Ohtani. Oh no, gambling in sports. It's being undermined. Yeah. For people who don't give a fuck about gambling like me, unless a gambling company were to pay me, then I would pretend to care about it. I don't give a shit. Oh no, the credibility of baseball is being undermined. Oh no. Then my job by proxy is going to be affected too. Why are you being such a hardo there? Literally just ask why. Anyway, what else do we have? The Rockets are 0-2. They lost to the Pistons. They play the Nets tonight. Alperen Şengün whining a lot. When things don't go his way, doesn't look so good. I guess Ausar Thompson, twin brother of Ahmet Thompson, nearly got into it with Jabari Smith Jr. And meanwhile, for all the fans of Cam Whitmore had an interaction with Wizards coach Brian Keefe after Whitmore missed a step-back three the previous possession. Whitmore responded to this by throwing items off of the bench. He has been reprimanded twice in 2 games with the Wizards. I know a lot of people wanted to keep him around with the Rockets. He's got all the talent in the world. The guy has a massive attitude problem. You would have thought that moving him to the Wizards would help him adjust that, especially considering he's going to play more in Washington, but it's clearly not happening. So there you go, everybody. That is going to wrap up, in case you missed it, and wrap up today's edition of the Gallant Says podcast. Thank you so much for tuning into today's live show. If you did, you can join me live weekdays around noon Central Time and occasionally after major Houston sporting events on YouTube at Paul Gallant. Like this video and subscribe on Twitch at Gallant Says. Follow is all I need, but a sub would be appreciated. On X and Twitter at Gallant Says Pod. Follow me on Instagram at Sports Gallant. Follow me on TikTok at Gallant Says. Like this video and follow me, please, for my cat. It's also on Facebook at Paul Gallant Sports. We're going to try to boost the Facebook in the weeks to come. It's available after the fact wherever you get your podcasts as well. So if you haven't already, subscribe, rate, and review the Gallant Says podcast on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. We do have a couple of comments before we hit the road on the old Gallant Says voicemail line. You can send an email, gallantsays@gmail.com, 281-836-3912. Lawrence, outside Stafford, wants me to play the And Twins drop from back in the day. I'm going to have to go find that. Maybe on the next time if the Astros play the Twins anytime soon. That's not going to be happening for a while. But anyway, until tomorrow at noon, so long, farewell.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain.
And have yourselves a wonderful rest of your Monday. Peace!